It's a people, it's a community, it's a life, it's a heart, it's a spirit.
Parents of gay children say, I want my son, my gay son, to have the same opportunity to come to me and say, hey, Dad, I'm getting married, as my non-gay son or my non-gay daughter.
The heck would you want a picture of a tattoo of $1,000 on your penis for?
You might just need to satisfy yourself sexually alone at that point.
Do I regret it? Not one bit. Did I think that I would actually take it the next step and do it again?
And what goes into their life, how they handle it. There are 12 houses, and each one of those houses has a particular function.
Look into yourself, think about it, and just be whoever it is that speaks to you.
Hello and welcome to Talking About. Today I have a very, very special guest with me, a very bright up-and-coming actor, Zach Gossett. Welcome.
Welcome. Very nice to be here.
So all the way from California?
All the way from California. It was a very long walk. No, actually, yeah, I was born and raised in California. Moved out here about 2.5 years ago to New York to try out my acting, and I love it. You know, I wouldn't be anywhere else. It's a great city.
Okay, it's good to know. It's always been home to me, so I'm very happy here. You know, got my roots firmly planted.
Very good.
Well, growing up in California, what was your life like?
It was a lot of fun. It was a great way to grow up. We had a very artistic family, very supportive of the arts. For instance, my mother, she's a self-taught photographer. She has her own business with black and white photography. She does a lot of portrait work with family, kids. My father, he's also an artist. He does a lot of painting. He went to college and got his degree, I believe, in art. My brother is also a very talented pen and ink artist, as well as with graphic design, doing that in San Francisco. I think he's currently also doing T-shirts for a company out there. And actually, my mother's father is also a very talented pen and ink artist, also a local author. Like, he writes a lot of short stories and stuff like that. It was a great way to grow up.
A lot of creativity.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. Then the thing that I love about it is my family seems to be very supportive of everything that I do, and you know, how could you go wrong growing up in a family that supports everything, whether it be music, acting, or doing anything.
That seems to be just about every aspect of the arts is in your family history. So there's got to be some artistic genes in there somewhere.
Well, that's kind of the funny thing is it seems like my family tends to be more geared towards whether it be painting or photography. I don't have the patience for that. If you give me a pencil right now, I would draw, a stick figure holding a flower. Who knows? But when it comes to acting and also music, I play the piano. I've been playing since I was about 6 years old. It's something that comes natural to me. It's wanting to give forth and to entertain people, as opposed to sitting behind a desk, and painting something out or drawing. And so it was a great way to grow up. They're fantastic.
Different ways of channeling the artistic energy.
Oh, without a doubt. And it's kind of funny because as an actor, I would not be here today if it wasn't for my mom. When I was about 6 or so, she used to have season tickets for the Marin Shakespeare Company, which is it's a very well-known Shakespeare company in the Bay Area of California. And one of her friends happened to actually back out at the last second. So she turns around, and of course, who does she have to turn to but her 6-year-old son? So she says, okay, Zach, let's go see Shakespeare. And I think it was Merry Wives of Windsor or something like that.
Okay.
And I can always remember just being, not necessarily knowing what they're talking about, but just being enamored and loving the language, loving the lights, loving the costumes. I thought it was a fantastic world that they would put on. And so from there, my mother continued to take me out to local theaters that would show, whether it be Shakespeare, straight plays, musicals. I loved it all. And we did that for many years. And then when I was about 13, there was an announcement for it was a casting call for a play called Inherit the Wind, and my mom says, hey, you know, they need a lot of small kids, they need a lot of townspeople, you should go out and do it. So I think about it, and I said, well, I would love to do it, but you know, I don't want any speaking roles, put me in the background, you know, I'll do whatever I can, but I go to the audition, and what happens? But I get the lead role for the kids. And it's so true what they say about, you know, you get bit by that acting bug, and and you can't stop. And I was doing show after show after show. I would be performing in a show. I would be rehearsing in a show and auditioning for a show. I mean, and I did this for years, and I loved it. It was such a great way to, you know, to grow up, and you learn how to manage your time, and I don't know, I loved it. It was great.
It's gotta help in all areas of young person or child's development as well, just to have that expressive outlet and just to be able to channel your creativity into something positive.
Oh, without a doubt. I had, I mean, as being a young teen, a preteen, you'd be spending most of your time with adults, you know, and people in their 20s, 30s, you know, 40s, whichever. And so they used to nickname me. My mother called me the professor. Because growing up, I started, you know, growing my hair out long, and I had like little flips, and I had my glasses on, and I was the little professor. I had straight A's, you know, in my 8th grade, and it was a great way to grow up, you know. But then of course you get into the high school years, and well, yeah, that tends to be a blur every once in a while. But as you know, I'm sure that we all go through that phase. But I've always turned to my acting, and I've loved to entertain, and I think that's why I do what I do, is just to, you know, if you can walk from a situation knowing that you've touched somebody in a certain way, you know, whether it be making them love you, you know, hate you, or just you know, if they walk away from you feeling changed, then you know what, you've done your job. And that's why I love to act, or even just in your day-to-day life, you know, just be a real human being, and it's fantastic.
You migrated east.
Yes.
I mean, the two centers of the industry would be stage toward the east and film toward the west. Did you migrated east with an eye toward the stage?
Well, it's actually, yeah, it's very funny about that, because originally I was geared towards theater, because I've been doing theater since I was, you know, like I said, 13. And so came to New York. They have a great acting venue, whether it be for stage or for, you know, for film, and started doing more stage. When I got out here, I did the Scottish play, which is, you know, it's Shakespeare, because we don't say the Scottish, you know, we don't say the name of the play, especially within a theater or within the studio. For those people who don't know what that is, I'm sure ask somebody else and they'll let you know what it is. But yeah, so I did that production, and then I went off from there to do it was great, it was off-Broadway, over at Studio 54. It was like the smaller cabaret theater upstairs, right above Assassins at the time.
Okay.
And it was great. It was a lot of fun, you know. I could put something on my resume saying that it's off-Broadway, you know, and it was a great show. It was kind of a burlesque adult musical comedy based on Alice in Wonderland. I played the Mad Hatter. Very funny thing about that, actually. I went in for the audition, and they said, okay, stay, watch the show, and if you like it, let us know, you know, and you can come on and do it. So, of course, what happens? I go for the audition, and I watch the show that night. It's campy, it's fun, and I said, you know what, why not? I'll do it. Something I can put on the resume, I'll do it. They say, okay, great, because we need you to come on in 2 days to step on for this guy. It was a completely different part, and they said, okay, you know, they gave me the script, I learned the music, I learned the dialogue, I came in and I did it, and they loved what I did, so they said, hey, we're going to give you this other part, you know, permanently for the Mad Hatter. And a few weeks later, the show actually canceled, and so they were trying to get some money backing to reopen it down in Chelsea. And so it was a lot of fun to be a part of the actual, like, the production process, the rewriting process, trying to market it, trying to sell it to potential buyers.
So you got to see it evolve somewhat as well.
Oh yeah, and it was something actually very new for me as an actor. Because usually when I come into a project, say it's a piece that's already been produced, especially on stage. It's something that's already been done, and so I'm really not too familiar with how a piece is actually picked up. You know, who a producer is, or who this is, who that is, and so it was a very learning experience for me. But also, on that same note, to keep my acting schedule open, I started doing more film, like whether it be student film, independent film, shorts, feature length, because it's a much quicker turnover. It could be like a week or two, and so it was really nice to kind of actually to find myself following more of the film aspect instead of stage, and it's kind of where I've wanted to be now. Ever since then, I just want to continue doing film. And
so you brought one of the clips that you brought is from your first film work?
Actually, yes. I brought a clip with me. It's my first film I ever did, which ironically enough was actually back in California. It's called The Salvage Yard. And the way that I heard about that, I was doing a production of Our Town, and I played George Gibbs. Now, the gentleman who was playing my father is John Tiedelman. He came to me one night in the dressing room and he said, "Zach, I'm doing this student film. They're looking for a male lead." And having never done film, I said, "Well, okay, I'll go out, I'll try for it." The guy liked me, and so sure enough, we went and we did it. And it ended up being like a great film. It was a 16 millimeter black and white shot. The funny thing about that, in Our Town, he played my father. So of course, what does he play in the film? He plays a hitman. He plays one of the guys who actually beats me up, throws me into a trunk, and eventually tries to kill me. So it was a great turn for him, to go, well, this is my son, and then you go to this is my dead whatever, my rival, and so it was a lot of fun. But yeah, it's a great clip, so I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay, so we'll take a quick look at that.
She never did tell you about me?
Angela. What'd you do to her? Huh? Is she all right?
Of course she is. Angela and I have a history, A very colorful history.
No. She would have told me.
Why? Couldn't let her go. Angela's the only thing that's ever been real to me.
What do you want?
I've always found a good amount of money on you. I could give you that money back. If you're willing to blow town and never come back. Never contact Angela again. So what's it going to be, kid, huh?
All right.
What?
I said all right.
I don't believe you. Say it like you mean it. I said all right, huh?
Isn't that what you want to hear? I'll get the fuck out of town!
Okay, so what about you has grown since that project?
Well, since that project, I would like to think that I've had a lot more acting under my belt, whether it be stage, but definitely a lot more film. That was my first film I've ever done, and it's not bad for being a first film, and especially being a student film. It has a great look to it. The cinematography is fantastic, but I really think that as an actor I've grown in the sense of learning to play to a camera, because it's a much different medium than it is for stage. On stage, you could be this big and it wouldn't matter, but within film, it's the idea of being intimate, of being small, and it sounds weird, but I almost feel like it's more personal doing film than it is actually being on stage, because you can whisper. You can, be just so minute, because when the camera is about this far away from your face, you can't lie. And that's really why I think I'm falling in love with film, is because it's so personal, and it's just fantastic.
But you sacrifice some of the instant gratification of the audience response.
Well, that is very true, and that's kind of the fun part, or the bizarre part, is as an actor, a lot of people don't realize it, but actors are actually very insecure people, which is kind of funny, and I think that's why we're always trying to get people's approval of, oh, well, how was that? How was that after each take? I mean, people would ask you that. But yeah, on live stage, you're going to get that response. You're going to get people laughing, clapping, standing up, giving you standing ovations, or in the press, you'll get great, great reviews as well.
You hope.
Well, you'd hope so. I don't know. I usually I would get very good reviews for the stage work that I had done. But yeah, so once again, going back to the whole idea of film, it is sort of bizarre, because you could do a project, which takes about a couple months to film, and then for about a year you don't hear anything. And so it's sort of as if you forgot that you even did a project. You don't even know if it's going to go anywhere. Then when it does, you're like, oh, that's right, I did that film, and that was a great piece.
So yeah, it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and then all of a sudden you're promoting it.
Absolutely. It's I currently have 2 films that just came out. I had done both of them about a year ago. Over the summer, I was doing a short film. It was called Sneakers. It was put out by, directed by Jose Quesada. Produced.
So is that another one that we have a look?
Yes, it's another one that you have actually. Produced by Kristen Gray. It's a lot of fun. It's about these 2 brothers, and it kind of touches base on familial love, and because there's such an age difference between the 2 of us. I'm kind of this tough, gruff older brother, wants to be a cop, against his mother's wishes, because our father was a cop who got killed in the line of duty. So she's very much against that. And he's kind of a small kid, doesn't play sports. He plays the saxophone, kind of the, more of the softer character. And so the way that the film opens up is that a bunch of kids, they take his sneakers. So of course, me being the older brother, hey, let's get together. We'll go on a stakeout and essentially try to get his shoes back. And so it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a very cute film, because you get to see. I mean, he's a great kid. I mean, for how young he was, he was a natural. He really did such a great job. And
we should just take a look for a minute.
Yeah.
So Sneakers.
Yeah, Sneakers.
Sneakers.
So, what happened?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Hey, I can't help you if you don't tell me what happened.
They backed me up against the wall. 2 of them grabbed my arms. The other one hit me and took the sneakers.
Look, you're 10 years old now.
I'm 11.
11? Huh. Yeah, well, that's when things start getting real rough, okay? And it's not going to get any easier for you. And that saxophone you got? Why don't you play any football?
Too small.
Baseball?
I can't hit the ball.
Yeah, well, you need to start standing up for yourself. Man, Dad would have hit the roof if he knew that you let some punk kid beat you up like this.
Why aren't we doing anything?
The stakeout, Joe. It's what you do.
Will Smith never just sits around.
It's not like the movies, Joe. It's not all chases and gunfights.
Will you have a gun?
Well, you bet your ass I will. You know what? Let me show you something cool. Come on.
Okay, so yeah, so that's kind of bookending your career so far.
Well, yeah, but then also I had it was a feature-length film that I had done. It was actually bizarre because when I was filming the Sneakers, the script supervisor, she really was impressed with my acting, and it ends up that her brother was writing a feature-length script, and so she wanted to direct it as her directorial debut with their production companies, Aslan Productions. And she said, hey, I have a great part for you. It's once again, it's kind of the gruff, the villain part. I don't know what it is. I keep getting these these darker characters. I must be typecast or something. I don't know. I like to think of myself as a nice guy, but you never know. But yeah, so it was a great piece. Once again, I got to play, like I said, the villain. It's a dark romantic comedy. Based basically for the suicidally challenged or something like that. That's the way that they kind of promote it. It's a lot of fun. It was a great piece, and we had the premiere back in April. Great reviews as far as the people who came and saw it. We had it show at a film festival. It's the Baltimore in Maryland, Maryland. Pretty good as well. And I think they're currently still trying to send it out to Toronto and like the Hamptons and all that kind of stuff, and hopefully we'll get some good responses, because it was a lot of hard work, I think, on both ends, and for being a fairly small budget, I mean, you look at it and it looks crystal clear. It's a gorgeous piece,
well,
very well written.
The ultimate goal with a project like that is to get the good notices and then get the distribution.
Oh, absolutely.
And then just make it available to folks like me and folks like you, so that we can all see exactly what you can do and what you're capable of. When you're sinking your teeth into a role, which you prefer, the good guy or the bad guy?
Well, ironically enough, it all depends on my mood. But lately, I've been into playing the darker characters, like more of the bad guy, because the fun thing is, I'm not playing the bad guy, and I've done it in tons of stage productions. On Shakespeare, you have, I was Caesar and Antony and Cleopatra, and anyway, I'm not going to go into the list. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to play the bad guy, because basically what it is, anybody could get up on stage or get behind or in front of a camera and say, "Oh yes, I'm an evil guy." It's a way of actually giving an evil character sympathy, where the audience feels sympathetic towards this character. It's not that you're just born bad; it's because of the circumstances, I would like to think. So it's definitely a lot more rewarding, I think, for me as an actor to portray a character who has a little bit more tarnished kind of character. It's great.
Where can people find out a little bit more information about you?
Well, actually, I have a website. It's a great place where I can always update my resume. So it has an updated resume. It has a couple headshots up there too, and more importantly, it actually has an online video audition, which is great, because a headshot could be just a picture and that's it. But with an online video audition, you can actually see me talk, move, do a little bit of acting, and that's actually at www.reelact.com/ZGOSSETT. That's www.reelact.com/ZGossett. And yeah, it's great. It's it's a great website for also, if anybody wants to, as an actor, go out there and get their own webpage. You can actually contact them and probably, I would imagine, get a site. It was free for me. I don't know if it's still it's still free.
Well, I mean, I have there is a link to your portion of the site on the www.talkingabout.info site. So people can come to my site, that is up on your screen right now, and just follow our site. It's a link to your site, and could learn more about you. And this show is also streaming on the web, so people
very cool.
People around the world can download you for free.
Yay!
What's next?
Well, actually, I currently have a piece that is in post-production. It's actually a sequel that I had first filmed out in California. It's called the first one was the Midnight Kings. The second one is After the Midnight. It's very much like the Ocean's 11 kind of genre, the heist film. A lot of fun. The second one should be coming out hopefully soon. probably, maybe by the fall of 2006.
Okay.
And then also, I'm in production right now for a piece called Trust and Devotion. It's being put out by Drama Corp Productions, directed by Jordi Lozano. He also wrote it, and he's also starring in it. It's a very different piece. It's a lot of fun. It kind of follows his character in his daily routine. And once again, I'm playing the bad guy. I'm the friend of his character, kind of a jack of all trades. His name is Angelo. He's a MC, a party promoter, and a hitman.
Oh, well.
How those go together, I don't know, but it's.
Well, you're gonna find out.
Exactly, no, but it's a lot of fun. It's once again, it's fun being the kind of suave character, because then the underlying darker side of him he's a hitman. He kills people for money, and that's kind of the honest truth about it. So it's a way of I don't know. Anyway, it's a great piece. It should be coming out hopefully probably by next year, and should be wrapped hopefully soon. And we've been working on it for quite a while. I was contracted to do it back in November, and we started filming
November
probably.
05.
Yeah, exactly. We're supposed to be wrapped in March, but you know how a film goes.
Yeah, a lot of hurry up and wait.
Lots of hurry up and wait, and that's why eventually, I would love to get into television. I have yet to do it, but.
Are you doing it now?
That's right. I am. Crap. No, I'm kidding. No, but eventually I would love to possibly wet my feet in whether it be, like a soap operas or any kind of daytime dramas. I would love to do that, because it is a very rush environment. It's not so much. Of course, it's going to be hurry up and wait, but it has that drive. And back like when I was a kid. I would be doing 3 shows all at one time. So I think as an actor, it would be very fulfilling, and it'd be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, so the website is linked to the www.talkingabout.info site. There is a bright future ahead of you.
Well, thank you very much.
And thank you for being here.
Anytime. Anytime. I loved it. It was very nice.
Thanks. And I want to thank you for joining us. My name is Jon Griffith for Zach Gossett. Thank you for joining us for Talking About, and I will see you next time.